weather's warming up, things are blooming, and maybe you're even peeking into that curriculum for next year. But we still got to finish up this school year, right? We can do this. Let's go. If you're new here, I'm Rian, a Christ-following wife and a homeschool mom to 3 boys. Here we talk all things homeschool, and we will learn together how to use our roles as wife, mom, teacher, and homemaker in order to glorify God. This is a collaboration hosted by Abby over at Rooted in Rest and Jessica at the Waldock Way. This is the Homeschool Show and Tell collaboration. This is an ongoing monthly collaboration where they just wanted to showcase how homeschool can be different for each and every family. So make sure you check out their channels and the playlist down below. So every time this time of year rolls around, I have a really hard time sticking with our school schedule. I just want to be outside. My kids want to be outside. I'm ready to just put the books behind me and look forward to the next year. But here are 3 things that I have learned that have helped me pull through the rest of the year strong. So I need to preface this by saying we are kind of year-round homeschoolers. So we don't do the typical August through May, nor do we do the typical 6 weeks on, 1 week off. We kind of just, at the beginning of the year, look at our schedule and say, okay, I know I want to take the week of Christmas off, and maybe even the week before. I know I want to take the week of Thanksgiving off, or I know I want to take a spring break, whatever it is, whatever vacations we may have coming up, and I plug those in. And then I look at what we have left. If I look and I see, oh, we're gonna be doing like 12 weeks of school in a row here if we don't break it up, I'll throw in a break, and we can move that around as that break comes closer to whatever would fit us. And then with whatever is left over, however many weeks that are left over after that, between, let's say, April and August, we have a summer break. It's just much shorter than a lot of public schools. It's not a full 3-month-long summer break. But needless to say, I still look forward to those weeks in the summer for sure. So here's what we do. First of all, go ahead and go outside. Take your school outside with you. Our favorite place to do school when it warms up is on the trampoline, which sounds a little bit ridiculous, but seriously, it's the best. We all just get up there, do our read alouds, bring some clipboards, they can do their math, they can do anything on the trampoline, and it's out in the sun, we're getting the vitamin D, and just being out in nature for me and all my kiddos is so therapeutic for all of us. Sometimes we just take a picnic blanket out and go sit on our porch and do it that way too. But getting out in nature makes you feel like you're not missing out on the beautiful day outside. You still get to be in it even if you're doing your work. And then when we do have a little bit of a break, we will walk around the block a few times. We'll wrap up a subject and then just say, okay, let's go on a quick bike ride around the block a few times before we dive into our next subject. Also, when we have kind of a fun Friday or an extra day in our week when we're not doing a ton of school, we go on nature hikes. As soon as it warms up even a little bit, we are out in the state forest near us and we are hiking and getting into the creeks and the rivers and all of that stuff. So even though you're still working, get out, get that sunshine. It's good for everybody. The second tip I have is if things are getting really hard, especially for your kiddos, because they get that spring fever just like everybody else, my second tip is to set incentives. Now, this sounds a little like, shouldn't they just do their schoolwork? Well, yes, typically, but just to take the edge off of kind of that spring fever, wanting to be done with school, looking forward to the summer, give them little treats and prizes when they do what they've been asked. And it's okay to be honest with your kids and say, you know what, I'm struggling too. I don't really want to be sitting here doing this either. I'm anxious to get outside just like you are. I'm anxious to start our summer break just like you are. But we've got to get this done. So let's make it kind of a game or a competition, whatever you have to do, but offer those little incentives. Maybe you say, hey, if we get this writing assignment done, we're going to go outside and have popsicles and hang out outside. Or maybe finish your math assignment and I'll give you a piece of gum. Or it doesn't have to be anything big. Just say, hey, after these 2 lessons, we'll go and play a video game for 30 minutes together, or a card game, or whatever it is that you guys like to do together. Just, if you have to, give those little incentives. And it's not bribery, it's just saying, you know what, we're all kind of struggling here, so let's make it a little more fun. And my third tip is for those of you who are like me and get very obsessed over finishing every single worksheet, every single lesson, and you can't let that go, because I struggle with that a lot. It took me a very long time to realize that I was supposed to make the curriculum work for me. I was not supposed to make our family work for the curriculum. And so that is especially true at the end of the year. So my tip is to look at that big picture and to say, okay, here are the lessons that are left. Let me look through them real quick. what of these are new things that I know my kid doesn't know that I have to get done by the end of the year? Kind of flag those and say, okay, these are important. What of those are just kind of reviewing, and maybe we could hit on it, but I don't have to do every single math problem, or I don't have to do the full assignment of whatever it is, but maybe I can just kind of skim through it with them and kind of make sure that they know this stuff. And if they do, move on. And then what of it is just really unnecessary, kind of more busy work, because some of these curriculums, they kind of just throw that in sometimes. And if it's stuff your kid knows and you don't think they even need to review, it's okay to skip a lesson. I'm telling myself this too, because I have a really hard time with this. But really, it is okay to step back, look at the big picture and say, okay, what is important that they know out of what is left? What do they already know? Or what can we just pare down and make it maybe a little less intensive so we can get through it a little faster? So hopefully this gave you some ideas on how to make your end of the year a little more fun, a little more bearable as we get excited for the summer months. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you aren't, but you're just gonna get outside and have fun with your kids. Maybe you're like me and geeking out over the new curriculum that you're gonna have next year. But whatever it is, hopefully this just gave you some encouragement to stay strong so you can finish what you started and either go ahead and move on to that next curriculum if you're a year-round homeschooler, or take a nice, good summer break with your kiddos. So comment down below, are you taking a summer break this year? Are you like me and you just take kind of a shortened one? Do you take the full 3 months, or do you not take one at all because you're a year-round homeschooler? Please don't forget to subscribe. It really, really helps my channel out. And don't forget to check out Abby and Jessica's channel down below. And our next video coming out is a day in the life where we are doing that nature hike that I was talking about. You don't want to miss it. Talk to you next time. Bye.